Recording. Hi, this is the January 2025 Community Board 1 Landmarks Committee meeting. And we're starting with a presentation from Robert for the 5G towers. That was I 3, 4, 5, but we're gonna do it first. And I'm gonna sign in and Alice is gonna be, or we have our 2 attendees. Maybe we'll see who we want to put in the panelists. Are these people on the board or no? Okay.
Alice is joining now.
So we'll start with Robert's presentation.
Yep.
Thank you.
Jerry's not here and what's his name is not here, and if they ask.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Robert Sakota. I'm the president for wireless at Link NYC. Link NYC is a company which we'll talk about during the presentation, but provides a certain little button advance services through kiosks that are located throughout New York City. I've been here to Manhattan Community Board 1 meetings before and essentially done the same presentation. I believe in the prior meeting, it was probably in front of the Environmental Committee. At that time, we had presented 8 sites that we were submitting for for installation of a structure called Link 5G, which I'll get to in 1 minute. I believe, just to give you the history, that the certainly the Environmental Committee and I believe the entire Community Board meeting passed a resolution opposing the deployment of these kiosks. Subsequent to that, they moved forward. We'll talk about that a little bit. The item in the on your agenda specifically has to do with one kiosk, which is we're proposing to add an advertising screen to it, but we'll get to that in due course. So we'll start. So Link NYC, what is the purpose of Link NYC? It's to provide free and equitable access to connectivity, information, and wireless services here in New York City.
Can you please define free as per our request earlier?
Sure.
Free to whom and when?
Sure. We have approximately 2,200 kiosks distributed throughout New York City. If you look at the presentation, 2,000 of them are the version, the 9.5-foot kiosk, which you see depicted there. That kiosk provides a range of services that are free, that is, you don't need to pay for. The main one is it provides free public Wi-Fi. People can sign on to the Link NYC kiosk system and get free Wi-Fi service if they're within, well, it's several hundred feet and generally have a line of sight to any of our kiosks. Link NYC is actually the largest free public Wi-Fi system in the United States. We believe it may be the largest free public Wi-Fi system in the world. On an average week, we have 250,000 to 300,000 people who are utilizing the free Wi-Fi service. Free means free. The only thing one needs to do is once a year, you need to sign in, give an email address, accept the terms and conditions, and there's no payment and there's no advertising on the Wi-Fi.
So if you live in the area,
And pay taxes and.
no, even if you don't, like if you,
Anybody
even
can
if
do
you
it.
live, you don't need to buy Wi-Fi in your home. You can just
No, the Wi-Fi that's provided is generally an outdoor system, which will work, as I said, probably within a couple hundred feet of any of the kiosks. It is designed to work outside, not inside. However, if you are indoors, with line of sight and probably less than 100 feet away, you can probably get indoor access as well, but it is not designed for that purpose. So is it a replacement for someone to get free or bandwidth from Verizon in their home? No, it is not in most instances.
We're here to look at installation of one of these.
Yeah.
Okay. This is a bigger program.
Yeah.
All right.
Smooth on, come on. There's loads of stuff.
Services that are available on the kiosk are the 911 button, 311 access, There is a tablet, if you look at the gentleman utilizing the kiosk there, he's accessing the tablet, which has access to various social services. There's a video relay service for deaf and hard of hearing. There's access to government and social services websites. We generate money to pay for the deployment through the advertising screen, the digital advertising screen that you can see there. But we also provide a free advertising space to the city. Many community boards run announcements on the kiosk to nonprofits and to local businesses. We have programs such as Art on Link, where individual artists who are interested in having their art displayed across the city will put it up on our kiosk network for free. And there's a USB port for free charging.
So what do you get from the city, or what do you pay the city?
We pay the city every year a franchise fee in order to utilize the public right of way. We are also required to provide those free public services I just mentioned. And we were also required, originally the kiosk network was built as a replacement for the public phone system.
Right,
So 10 years ago, there were approximately 8,000 phone booths distributed throughout New York City. As part of our obligation to deploy the kiosks, we also took on the obligation to remove all of the public phone booths. So there are, with the exception, I believe, of one or two sort of display booths that exist on the Upper West Side, there are no more public phone booths in the United States, not in New York City.
So if you just, pardon for 1 second, since Gerald, you just came in, we discussed the issue of connectivity, and essentially, this is only for outdoor service within about 100, I don't want to paraphrase, but 100 to 300 feet of being in front of the machine. So you can't actually be in your house. It's just, and use that unless, you know, it's right there. It's essentially entirely outdoor system.
it's a quick charge, right?
Certainly, people, one of the main uses is for people to charge their phones. It is also, in some sense, an issue for us in that some people linger in front of the kiosk and charge their phones for long periods of time, and creates various loitering issues that we have to address from time to time.
It's okay. We're humans, we need to help.
So wait, they pay a franchise fee, but what are they getting out of this?
Who?
You
What we
guys?
get. In the past, what we receive is we run those advertising streams. So there's 2 digital advertising streams on there.
Got it.
So we generate money or have generated money to date through the sale of advertising.
That's
And we're not gonna get that. That's not Spruce Street. We have it already. We have it in a number of places. He's proposing something new for Spruce Street.
Let me keep moving.
Your question.
So this is, to give people a
Yeah,
sense of,
and they gated it.
one of the issues we're trying to address is that while New York is one of the best connected cities in the world, there are still large numbers of people who are residents of New York or passing through New York who don't have good access to broadband, either in their homes or in some cases, they don't have mobile phone plans. One of the largest users of that free Wi-Fi system are people who have phones, but they don't have phone plans. That is, they, can't afford a plan from Verizon or whomever. And instead, they have either a prepaid card, which gives them a limited number of minutes, or they use outdoor Wi-Fi. So those are very heavy users of the kiosk system because it's one of the easiest places for people to get access to free Wi-Fi. We did a survey of our users during the pandemic. And one of the responses to the survey was, 30% of the users indicated that the Link NYC system was their only access to internet.
So I have a question. So we voted on this in September 2024, and we rejected.
Yes, you did.
And we rejected it because we asked for a variety of things. Have we gotten any of those things?
Do you remember what we asked for?
It's right here.
It's right there.
It's right there.
I
Okay,
go on my past memory.
we oppose the installation because it supports the comments outlined in the resolution. We had a whole list of comments. Be submitted to the State Historic Preservation, OTI, and City Bridge, urging a comprehensive review process. Then further resolve calls for a moratorium on all further installations of Link 5G towers until community concerns are addressed at an added.
Very nice, thank you. Oh.
I still can.
So what are
read.
we here for, Rob?
So just background on these, 100 North Moore, 110 William H. Spruce. SHPO said yes to 100 North Moore, but no screen. Said no to 110 William, they need to move it or redesign. Or 8 Spruce, they said no, move or redesign. Robert, if that's, you can.
Yeah, that's correct. So four they said yes, as you mentioned, 2 of them, Northmore and Harrison, they said no screen.
Harrison's in this room too.
So essentially, the 4 that have been approved by the State Historic Preservation Office are 66 Harrison, that said no screen, 100 Northmore, that said no screen, 88 Pine, which was proposed with no screen, and I believe 75 South, which was approved with screen.
Rule 75 says.
You're appealing just these 3 at this point.
No, we're right now,
He's
we
only
are,
into Spruce.
I'm sorry, yes, 3 things are going on. One, at, I believe Northmore, the site which was approved, we've asked that SHPO reconsider its review and approve an advertising screen.
Right.
Because it is our view that the advertising screen is sitting in front of, I believe, the parking lot for Borough of Manhattan Community College. And at least we added some additional pictures to indicate we don't think it has a historic impact. I believe that was the reason I was asked to come here to discuss that point. But there are 2 other sites that was previously not approved. I believe it's 88 Pine and 110 William Street, where we've submitted additional photos to SHPO to ask them to reconsider their non-approval.
And are those here tonight with us, those photos?
Those photos
Yeah.
were submitted to SHPO, and I believe your community board as a consulting party has received those.
I have 8 Spruce, and
Right.
that's not 88 Pine.
Oh,
You're right. Sorry, you're right.
And we don't have 110 William, which is a very bad place to put it. But anyway.
Right, all we want tonight from you, Robert, is what you're submitting to SHPO for your appeal. Can you show us that
For
document?
Spruce.
Because we don't actually have a,
It's for 3 of them,
okay, great. Where,
3 locations, right?
In your-
okay, it's in our thing, so we'll look at it.
Yeah.
He's showing the Northmore.
You're doing 100 Northmore, 110
Northmore,
William.
which again has been approved, and so the change is to add the advertising screen.
So again, we rejected this. SHPO approved it, but denied the screen.
Yeah.
And now there's,
He's
Appealing
appealing
to
it.
get the
He
screen.
wants the screen.
Okay, 1 second. I know, Guard, I want to just bottle that up, write it down, because Alice, you know how much she loves this. Let's get her on, if that's okay with you,
Yes,
Vicki.
of
She's on,
course.
she's gonna go. Alice, say what you like, and then, we'll talk about our own things and grievances, but why don't you go
Okay,
while you're there
Yeah.
with us?
thanks, Jason, and hi, Robert. Happy New Year. So I'm here just in case people had questions. I am following this pretty closely. A couple of things, Robert. First of all, just to be clear, this community board, not only the community board, but every one of our electeds has been extremely vocal in opposition to these 3 towers that you're here appealing, and as well as the others. But we're just talking about 100 Northmore tonight. In my understanding, 8 Spruce and 110 William. And by the way, I've received nothing, and I am one of the consulting party folk along with the rest of the community board staff, and I've received nothing on the other properties. So those we can't really speak about. In any case, we've been really clear on these 3. And one of the things, sorry, go ahead.
I think the 8 Spruce and the William are in the package.
That's correct.
This meeting, so.
Yeah,
I mentioned 88 Pine, and I thought I heard, and that wasn't part of this.
That was my bad. I apologize.
Okay, no, okay, sorry. I'm a little, I can't quite hear everything. The point is those 3. So obviously the community board has not changed its position on this, nor will they. I cannot imagine how this is coming back to us, particularly in light of the fact that the letter written by all of our electeds and our board to Garnet Hanley, who is the head of the Federal Communications Commission's Wireless Telecommunication Bureau, stating the problem at 100 North Moore gets beyond the aesthetics and the historic aspects of this, but also the resiliency. The fact is that Battery Park City Authority has made it quite clear that they are working, and pretty soon, on resiliency measures in that very location. And why should taxpayers be asked to pay money going forward to remove this when you are going to be putting resiliency walls that are going down 15, 20 feet or more, 45 feet, I can't remember what. This doesn't make any sense. And you have not yet, and I don't mean you, Robert, but your organization, I guess it's called Bolden now, it was City Bridge, and that maybe you want to help us define, but what is it that, why are you putting it there when there is obviously going to be a conflict? So in addition, your argument for the screen is to me specious, because in fact, the screen is not so much about whether it's blocking part of a garage. It's the fact that you can't get down the sidewalk, but you're going to have these resiliency walls in addition to this very large 32-foot, 3-foot wide tower. So I just really think that hasn't been properly analyzed. And I also want to ask you something. I find it extraordinary that I personally had asked numerous times, as you know, in writing and in public, for pictures of these poles in situ. And you explained that that could not be provided to our board. And we had to rely on the work of Jason Friedman, our chair, to go out and make these pictures for us to assess and make the assessments. Somehow in this appeal, you're providing us with these very pictures that we asked for originally. I find that hard to understand. And I want to understand why those are coming now and didn't happen in October when we asked for them. And I'm sorry to sound a little annoyed, but you can imagine why that's a big question mark. So I guess it's 3 questions. How are you accounting for resiliency? We have not yet seen anything in writing from FCC on that. I understand I was also promised that we would see a section of the new towers that are dealing with the floodplain. We have not yet seen that, or I don't think the whole board has seen that, I should say. And 3, how are you explaining why we didn't see these pictures when we first were asked to review these applications? Thanks.
Okay. First issue on the resiliency. It is not my understanding that New York State SHPO or the FCC is reviewing for interference or non-interference with the Battery Park City Resiliency Project. The FCC and SHPO in particular review with respect to historical preservation issues. There is an environmental protection checklist associated with that, but from my perspective, it's not impacted by the resiliency project, to which you are correct. There is potentially going to be a conflict at some point. I, together with the folks from OTI in New York City, have been in contact with the Battery Park City Resiliency project managers. They put us in touch with the contractor. So we've had ongoing discussions with them about how we can coordinate our project. Whatever happens in terms of the deployment, there is no additional cost to the community or the resiliency project. To the extent that there is a conflict when we install or after we install, there becomes a conflict. That becomes an obligation on City Bridge, not an obligation on the taxpayer.
Why would okay. I think that this community deserves to see a plan of where that pole is going to be located vis-a-vis the Battery Park City Authority resiliency walls on Northmore and Harrison. That seems to me to be a fair ask prior to accepting that this will go on that location, Northmore. That just doesn't make sense otherwise. Anyway.
I mean, I certainly indicated
Asking for that.
Where it's going to go. I have seen plans from Battery Park Resiliency where on Northmore, the wall they were planning is inside. Essentially, we would be outside of the wall. The wall that they were contemplating was closer to the building.
Yeah, but Robert, you have to be able to walk down the sidewalk. That's the point. And when you have a 3-foot, essentially 30, 35-inch screen from side to side. I'm not convinced that can be done. And I think we should be convinced you can walk before you start to really consider that with a screen, when SHPO said no screen. So you're appealing for a screen that doesn't make any sense. So you need to be able to prove that that's going to work.
Ultimately, I can't prove what the resiliency project folks will or won't do. That is up to them, and whatever they show me, they have the ability to change. So I can only tell you what our current plan is.
And what is it? Can you tell us the width of the sidewalk and then how much is your screen? Because that's very easy. We know those numbers well.
Certainly, there is more than ample room currently for, I think, it's in excess of 10 feet, which is our siting requirement between where the edge of the stream would be and the edge of the sidewalk. So we are not allowed to put in a kiosk or a screen on a kiosk unless there's certain through path size for people to walk on that sidewalk.
Why are you going against the screen? Why do you feel the screen is so essential for this neighborhood? What is it that makes, well, I understand that, but what is it that you need? What are you giving Tribeca with this 3-foot screen on a busy sidewalk going over to Hudson River Park?
The screen will be used like the other screens on the kiosk for both providing paid advertisements to generate revenue to support the program and given public service announcements by the city and other nonprofit groups. That's what the screen will do.
Did the city ask for a place to do more public announcements, or do the users of this, the taxpayer, ask for this service in some way? That
The city,
how it came about?
the city certainly has a requirement in our franchise that we provide them with, I believe, 25% of the time, screen time that we have needs to go for their public service announcements.
And what agency is this contract with?
It's with the Office of Telecommunications and Innovation.
Robert. Okay, Alice, are you done? Because I know,
I'm done, but I just need the second.
other people.
Two other questions. I didn't get the other question answered. Sorry, Robert, if you could just answer.
Questions, that's right. Okay.
Why we didn't receive the drawings until you're now in the appeal, that you're now showing us the very pictures that we asked for originally.
I'm sorry, your second question, Alice, I think was about the floodplain issue and
So the second question was the width of the sidewalk that may be diminished due to your large screen size. And we would like to have documents provided where the sidewalk width or depth is measured and your sign is placed and dimension. Like, how simple can that be?
I certainly can give you we have a survey that we submitted as part of this proposal, I think both to OTI and to SHPO, but I can give you that survey, which will demonstrate that with the screen, we have sufficient clear path for the sidewalk.
Absolutely, we need that urgently.
Oh, thanks. Could you answer, the other two are the ones, was one, if you would be good enough to send that section through again of the new pole that accommodates the floodplain in most of the locations you're proposing in Lower Manhattan. And the third question is why we could not see the very images that you now provide in your appeal in October when assessing this application.
The second question was if you wanted to see the floodplain kiosks, or I think, Alice, you and I sent you a set of drawings which shows that for kiosks that are located in a 100-year floodplain, we have an obligation to take the equipment that is utilized to provide cellular service and raise it so that it's 1 foot above the floodplain.
Right, so I just did, so that's confirmed, so we will share that with the board, okay. And the third is about the image.
In response to your third question, Alice, when I went back and asked to your response, I was not given approval to spend more money to give you your photos at that time. But I guess we got approval to spend more money once we went back and got denied on these 3 sites to make these additional photographs.
That's funny.
Are you aware of the money we have to spend on our time spent on this?
Yeah.
It's not a lot. Yeah, you guys are budget constrained or budgetless? What kind of company is this? Is this a big company or a small company?
City Bridge, the company that operates Link NYC, has call it 25 employees.
And what kind of revenue a year does this company do?
We generate roughly $70 million in revenue a year.
Okay. Table.
I'm done, thanks.
Thank you, Alice.
Alice, here it is, here's his drawing. So the sidewalk width is 12 foot 9. And, the sign is 3 feet,
3 feet approximately, yes.
so that leaves, 10 feet. They're just shy of 10 feet or 10 feet of clear walking, dimension. Is that okay with you, Alice, or?
I just have to flag, I would assume that when they put the wall up,
You won't have that.
offset from the building, it won't be, flush against the building, they'll probably offset it, and that's gonna take up some space.
Yes, they told us it was the water, actually the water was from that. No. We'll just drown.
To answer you, Vicky, it's certainly not okay, and there's nothing about this that is, which have changed. It's only more
No, I
egregious.
meant to say, okay, you got, an answer was.
I understand, yeah, and Zach's point is well taken.
Okay.
Is there a deck for this?
It's actually, well, it's up, right? How many slides?
It's up, but it's
I have
physical
it.
deck?
No, he didn't bring a physical one.
I see.
What's up?
I'm sorry, are we
What's
looking,
up?
are we looking at Northmore or Harrison? I can't see.
This is Northmore, I just pulled it up just so
Thank
you could see the sidewalk width
Thank you.
currently.
Okay, but Bruce, there's some SHPO applications that go along with this.
Right.
And we have a whole team of staff working day and night to go to the internet, find them ourselves, pay for all food and beverage during that time, all taxis, pay for it completely to do that. Gerald? Nothing, okay.
Jared.
Jared?
Okay. The first question is, I know historically there have been issues that were discovered through a audit about monies that were owed to the city as part of the franchise fee. Is Link NYC currently up to date on payments owed to the city?
Yes, it is.
And then the second is, you talked about demand and usage. Have you done any research or data, have any data on the demand for it in these particular areas? Because the connectivity equity part of it is great. You're talking about, some of the most expensive real estate in the world where it's hard to believe that there is not ample connectivity.
The sites chosen, for all of these sites was actually chosen by one of the cellular providers as an area where it believed it needed additional coverage.
Which cellular? Which? Oh, Verizon, AT&T.
The cellular carrier, at least at this point, has not authorized us to disclose their name.
It's okay. We won't
It's okay.
authorize our approval, but anyway, it's ridiculous. Yes, Bruce, go ahead.
Is there a slide of its location on Harrison and how close would that be to
You mean as a
the,
picture or?
or just like we had a map? I'm curious how it relates to the very, very
Okay, so which is that?
landmark houses.
Yeah,
There's also one on Harrison.
that's the one we're talking about first. No, because there's a couple. So you want to know which?
Oh, I'm sorry, we're doing one at a time?
No, just, you said I didn't hear the first, so
Okay.
Harrison, so we can go,
Harrison's
no,
not on our agenda.
Correct.
Yeah.
but it is on the table?
Yes.
There's, Harrison is,
So it's,
Wait, let him
it's more
answer.
west than the historic houses, and it's on the north side of the block, in probably the worst part, it's like the worst part of the community school with college, but it's on a cobblestone block. It blocks views when you look east of the beautiful houses that you're talking about.
It's west, but there's not much
West.
west left after those houses.
That's
But
correct.
it is west.
Is that on the list? Are
Oh,
we considering?
where's this, no?
I don't
It's kind of like, yeah, yeah. it's
He
just-
has it.
He has it, he has it.
In the
No,
area, if you
that's
thumb around, you'll
Okay.
find yourself on Harrison
Okay,
Street.
I
and-
see.
I will say the biggest issue for that particular one is that within 5 years, that whole thing's gonna be torn up. For the,
I
for
thought the
the,
biggest issue
for the
was,
flood barriers.
we want our city to be pretty, and these are, I think consensus is,
Yeah.
from the people I've heard, they don't think they're pretty, and they certainly don't think they're appropriate in and around buildings that were built from, in a century ago, that we all pray to. but
I mean,
for
the
some reason-
MCC wasn't built a century ago is my only,
But it's
to play
across the
devil's
street
advocate.
from things that were built, actually, some of the earliest stuff that's still around,
1820
yeah.
starts.
Forget
Yeah.
about,
So
Forget about
We're
it.
talking on Northmore?
No, Harrison. We can-
What actions are we considering? Right, what are we considering, please, today? What are
Well,
the actions?
I think actually the hard parts for the people, you know, I don't want to speak for the other people. After this meeting, we're gonna have to write another resolution, says we don't like it. We don't have to bore Robert with that. He probably knows that already. Alice is, and everyone's kind of been full court press on this. And it's more than a landmarks issue. I think very much more than a landmarks issue, but we're gonna do it through landmarks, bring it up at executive.
It's mobility, it's all kinds of things. And I think we don't, I mean, I would certainly call the question, because I don't think anything has changed since the last one.
Right.
And
I went out of the way to object to them and make documents.
And make a
so-
document and ask for proof. It's not your fault, I don't think. But anyway,
Definitely not.
a little bit.
all right, well, I think, you know, you're a good sport,
Oh,
but
that's all.
still, no. I
Yep.
mean, I'd call the question and have a vote. And we'll write a resolution again negative.
All right, a second.
I seconded that with you. That hurts. Bruce, did you have any other
No,
questions?
no.
Okay, so let's go.
It's on the face of it, I just don't know why Harrison isn't on here since it's listed as one of the sites.
Tell them.
We haven't received the appeal yet.
It's kind of like. gonna happen, and-
So Jason, is your resolution is to reject the appeal, that we've already rejected these 3 sites originally? SHPO came back and agreed with our assessment that they were in fact not good sites in terms of their understanding of the historic districts. City Bridge has come back to state that they feel that SHPO is wrong. And this resolution is restating what we've already stated, which is nothing in the appeal is anything that changes our perspective. Is that what this resolution is saying, more or less?
Yeah, I think it's like a Photoshop of what we have already in what
Okay.
looks to be about 45 pages or
Except for
more
North
here.
And I would.
Anything we can do to improve it, of course, you and I and anyone who wants to do it, we'll do our best within the time frame, and then hopefully you'll put it to rest.
And their responses to us were inadequate. I mean, I think we have to note that, even from our first
Okay.
work on that we worked very hard to give them some parameters and ask for some questions. We didn't get anything.
Do we know if Judge Cannon is hearing the appeal?
I don't know.
No, Alita.
I actually think it's Wapner on this one. Okay, so we're done anyway. We voted, or we didn't vote.
No,
Yeah,
that's fine.
Okay,
Because your votes.
okay, great.
7-0 passes.
Okay. Going to the next thing.
Thank
Not
you.
bad
We're
time.
done?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Robert. Sorry.
Okay, so what are we gonna do? The next one that finally waited just to listen to that?
Funny exchange.
Okay, great. Money exchange.
I said that.
Jumping around on the,
No, it's first on our agenda.
right, we moved them last in seconds, you know?
Yeah, right.
Sneaky.
Getting sugar.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. The, committee presenter.
Something for Kevin.
Oh, I don't, well, I think was at this place. And now we're everyone's asleep already from the rush, okay. All right.
This will wake you up. This is fun.
Yeah.
This should be.
Yes.
You can come closer, so you're in front of us, one of these little people.
I also can't read this.
Yeah, come as close as
Hi, my name's Leo Newcomb, principal, JG Newcomb Architecture. I'm here to present some modifications to 20 Exchange Place. On a personal note, some of you know, I actually see this building from my bedroom. I'm a big fan of the building. It's a historic landmark. It's an amazing space. We're very, very, very proud to be entrusted with working on this project. My office is 4 blocks away. I walk past it every day, and for 22 years, pretty familiar with this site. So I have a little local knowledge and some investment in making this better. So we're going to present a very, very brief introduction. I don't think you want the whole history of the building and just, situate it. So I'm going to show you that. And then I'm going to talk about 4 points of what we would like to do. And without further ado, so Project was built 1930, 1931, 20 Exchange Place, Cross and Cross, very, as you probably know, famous, very famous architect, who's actually working on a project on Fifth Avenue in one of the buildings as well, which is lovely. We do a lot of historic renovations, townhouses. You know, we just finished the Dyson project on Mercer Street at 155. We love working on old buildings, right? We love the narrative of it. We love to engage with it as much as possible. So we're working on the interior of the building. You know, frankly, the previous renovation was okay. I think we're trying to do some upgrades to the interiors. I'm not here to talk about that. Really, just the ground level, So, you know, I'm showing this just to say that I bought every book on this. We went through it, we researched it to death, we know a lot about the building. I don't want to bore you with that. It's a beautiful building. By the way, I love the little bridge on the top left.
That's not there anymore, right?
No,
No.
What is the area that we're gonna be working in on?
we are getting there. So individual landmark, just the map of, as you probably know, all of the landmarks. It's situated, it's an unusual building that's bounded, it's a little bit like the Flatiron, right? It has no adjacent neighbors, so it's a full building, which is pretty rare in New England. So it's bounded by William Street, Beaver Street, Hanover Street, and Exchange Place, and so that's where we are.
It's
What
an
I,
exterior, not interior.
it is an exterior land, correct.
Although
Yeah.
the interior is also beautiful.
The interior, we're not touching because it's great. We're working on the lobby for super minor, more restoration. I mean, what would you change? So we're working on, I don't know, a little finger point, but,
Is that,
we'll-
press the lowest button and.
wait. Oh, yeah. That's so cool. Okay, so we're working, no, maybe it's cool.
It's a
Maybe it
little
isn't.
waggy.
It's a little waggy. Okay, we're working on the, okay, I'm gonna stop doing that. 'Cause we're working on the Exchange Place side. So the north side, unfortunately, this is rotated. South is north of the side. So we're working on the box out, right? There were multiple entrances to this building. There was the commercial banking, there was the private banking, there was the commercial tenant entrance. We're focused on the Exchange Place facade in its entirety and what used to be the office building entrance, which is where the arrow hits. As you may know, immersive, live theater operations and some of this other stuff, we're not involved in that at all. It's not part of our thing. This is the facade, so this is the Exchange Street, our photos of what it is today. This is looking down Exchange Place, so the image on the left, we are gonna be focusing on from basically where the sign is down, you know, that facade. And I wanna point your attention particularly to the bottom right photo. We're gonna talk about lighting a little bit. It is, you know, again, I've lived 22 years, I've been here. This is a sad experience. This is not a pleasant place to live.
Yeah.
You know, I think the street west of this is actually worse. But this is, you know, it's basically the back end of Cipriani. They have deliveries all day long. It's just not inviting at night and it doesn't feel safe. It has, I don't know, something 700 plus units. There are a lot of people live here, you know, fair amount of kids. We would like to make this a little bit more attractive without, you know, while being obviously respectful of this building. We don't want to mess with it too much. So we're going to present four main things. One, the existing storefront to the old tenant entrance no longer exists. They replaced it with kind of a so-so stainless, glass and stainless piece. The bottom part, so that's what's there now, that the 9 windows in the, I can do my thing here, hold on. Nope, I can't. Okay, never mind. Sorry, I tried. All right, I can't do it. So, whoops, I'm so sorry. This thing's, okay, so, but what's really driving and we'd like to replace the entrance to this. They have a pronounced stack effect problem. And, you know, 700 plus units of people coming in and out one door is a problem. So it's not historic. It's not great. Actually, I think what was there earlier was better. So that's the first thing we want to look at. So this is the existing facade. So again, that area circled in red is what we would like to propose. This is the existing condition. So the top left was the historic plan. It had 2 sets of windows and a revolving door. The second plan on the right is what's there today. It's super inconvenient. Nobody really wants to use the revolving doors. There's one door, most people use the center door. The super told me there was something like 300+ dogs coming in and out. There's a bunch of kids, strollers. It's really a pain. Plus the stack effect. It's noisy and loud and, our client would like to do something better.
Are these condos or?
No,
It's a
they
rental
were
building.
gonna be condos, but after the pandemic, they switched to rental.
Yeah, it's a rental building. So these are the existing conditions. You can see it's a storefront. It's not the worst.
Okay,
It's
so
not,
who is the owner? Who's the landlord?
our client is German organization, so.
And they also own 70 Pine, right?
They do not.
They
No,
were
that's-
involved.
No, I don't think so. Not that I could be wrong.
79 was the Chinese company, no, that bought it up? I'm focusing.
I gotta go first.
Yeah.
Let's zoom in.
All right, let's go ahead. So this existing conditions, not the worst, not the best, but a lot of logistical problems for the owner and for the tenants mostly. So this is the existing storefront. There's still these beautiful doors on the right-hand side, the right image. Those are existing. We're not touching that, obviously. But we would like to replace the 2 revolving doors and the glass above it. So what we are proposing is this. There are a couple of things that we're doing here. One, I'll get to the actual entrance part, but the first thing is creating this kind of lunette, this oculus in the center. There are 9 little motifs around the entrance and then 2 larger ones at the top that are circular. We thought this would be a nice way to sort of integrate some of the language of the building. The 9 motifs are the 9 different locations worldwide where the Farmers Trust had its offices. It's an interesting detail. We did a, staff level presentation of landmarks. They were open to it. So, we'll see. I have to present it to the full board.
I'm missing something. That's there currently?
No, this is new. This is new.
Oh, this is
So
proposed.
the surround is also.
That's new. No, this is also, the surround is existing stone.
Thank you.
I'm
That's
not
not
good
gonna
enough.
change anything.
I was gonna say, Jerry, really?
I was gonna say, no, I was asking. Then I was gonna ask, what is this made out of?
No, just the metal part, right? Just the metal part. So that's existing. That's proposed. We're trying to elevate it, bring your eye up, focus. The existing lantern there is historic. We're trying to focus on that. A couple of things. I would say we'll get to the planters. Adding planters also. So
Can you give us some details?
Yeah.
It looks a little thin
Yeah.
and skimpy.
Yeah.
I've got a bunch of circulars.
Make it look like the medallions somehow.
In that.
That's what we're
Give
trying.
us some details.
So that's the existing, right? That's the existing, 2 revolving doors, 2 doors, pain in the butt. That's the existing elevation. It's okay. This is our proposed. We are deepening the opening. So what I have, I'm just gonna get up.
Oh, you're taking up some space there.
Well, because you want to have enough room for people to get in and out. So we're staying within the boundaries of the current one. I think it's smaller than the
You
old
should
one.
have done an existing and be both side by side. Oh,
Like super organized.
no, side by
No,
side.
they-
I can't.
Okay, we got it.
Come on.
So you see,
Yes,
okay, so the idea really is you have these two doors in the center that slide open. You go through these. These are breakaway for fire egress, right? So that's the plan. It's very glassy. You can see in and out. It creates more transparency into the building so you can see the beautiful interior and allow people to get in and out a lot quicker and will help significantly decrease the stack effect.
are they gonna have in and out sign?
It's one central.
No, it's two doors that open. I can't move my arm too much, but it's 2 doors that open.
Some of your.
Please go.
It opens in the
One-
middle.
Yeah, open.
No, just go back.
Yeah.
Where is this located? So you are enclosing this part now.
We're spending a ton of money doing this curved glass to come out a little bit, right? That makes sense?
Yes.
It makes sense. I don't
All
think
of this is
that's
new.
nice, but.
Yeah.
And this is,
Right,
old enclosed space?
yes,
So
and
all that's new is this?
correct.
No, that's new.
See why you need a proposed and existing next to each other? I do for living
So you.
myself.
But the-
so-
but
I
what-
know, But you see why? Because we can't understand it. You've been living with it for months and years. Wait.
But you have it on here in your thing. You've been to the bar.
One might have it.
You can put them side by side on the printed one.
Yeah,
Wait, hold on. I might actually have it. Hold on.
Right here, yeah.
Do I have it?
What page are you on?
No, I don't.
What-
I thought it's-
Anyway. So that's basically, it. I mean, the idea is all the materials.
here,
We
right?
found, we
Yeah.
actually sourced
That's
materials that
proposed.
match the
Right.
interior stone,
And I believe.
the interior of this, the wall, all of that matches. It should be seamless, right?
So,
That must be the
do me one favor,
So
go
that-
back to the.
To the rendering?
So what exists, yeah, picture of it, just so we know black and white, but if it was color, that'd be okay. I want to see the picture of what it looks like today, clear and.
Right.
Today is this.
That's today, huh?
That is today.
None of that material, none of that metal was there when it was built, correct?
No, that's,
Okay,
yes.
do
And
you
that's the
have a
replacement on this.
picture of what was there when it was built?
That we do not have.
Do you have a picture of what is there in another opening that is original?
We have, wait, say that again?
There are other masonry openings on the ground floor of this building.
Correct, but they're
The
all,
other ones have original material, no or yes?
yes.
Do you have pictures of those for us who are familiar with it? What material, or absent of the pictures, what material is the metal in those quarters?
So the detailing is nickel.
Right. It is nickel.
I know, it wasn't brass, yeah. And that's part of, that's.
You mean the one that's on Beaver Street and on Hanover, yes,
Just
take
one other
it.
one. It's, okay,
And Hanover Street.
so let's
Two
say
other entrances.
the other entrances would be, we have two, three, however, one. There's work, there's beautiful work and other things like this, metal work. I mean, you're not showing any metal work. That's nice stone work. But you just show me one example of an existing.
Oh,
Is there any metal on the first floor?
wait.
This is it.
It's in here.
This is right.
Hold on.
I'm just
You're
not
taking me out of sync now, you're,
okay.
wait, no, hold on, I got a better one.
Relax.
What's this?
Let us sort this
It's
out.
very slow, I'm sorry.
Photo reference.
That,
Okay,
there you go.
so that's a bunch of nickel, sure as hell doesn't look like nickel.
Nickel silver. I know, so I should also mention, we're working with Mary Casey, who is, this is what she does for the newsletter store. She's in the more material, we
Okay,
brought in an expert.
Yeah.
So the material you'll be using will match this material, correct?
There's no way we're using
No.
nickel silver, no.
No,
No way.
No. And what's there now is stainless, I mean,
they don't have,
I don't even know.
they have stains.
Entrance doors
So
are not.
in this image though, and in the one that's on River's page,
It's not,
2024.
Don't
These are-
buy that.
Nineties, yeah.
I don't understand.
Building in New York City, and then tell me you don't have.
I wouldn't ask this
What's the move?
young man
What's
to
the
take
move?
money out of his pocket to buy it. But the guy, the genius who bought this board, this building,
And wants to do airport tours.
he probably owns Direct Link or Link 45 or whatever it's called.
You can continue, but we
Yeah,
have to
go.
discuss.
Yeah.
We are,
Jared,
you know,
Jared.
a board.
and Jared.
Yeah, so that, in that image, this one's
What
of,
the materials?
Yeah.
And stainless steel.
yeah, the doors don't actually bother me, I understand the technicality, there's so much additional detail.
Yeah, but this is not what that entrance looks like. This is the private banking entrance.
Mhm.
This was meant to look like a vault.
I understand,
right?
but this image looks like it as well.
Which one?
Exterior.
That also looks
Yeah,
like a
this
vault.
is the.
That was the other banking entrance.
Yeah.
That, this entrance never had that. This always,
But we don't know.
yeah, we do.
Yeah, he has a picture.
I have the
Yes.
plan.
No, the entrance.
No, you have a plan, you don't have a photo.
Yeah, but I can tell you the plan is made out of glass. It's not made out of solid nickel. Hold on, wait, let me show
If
you.
you had a photo of the existing, how can you not have a photo?
Yeah, I
You
got the
do.
building in-
We do.
You
Sorry,
got
that's
it.
it.
He does.
That-
He showed us.
It is. It's in the package.
It's in the packet and I don't have my packet.
Okay, that one on the left, right, my friend?
Yes.
It's a little dark, but we're looking at a
That's,
stainless steel brush thing, right?
that's stainless steel.
I see that. And we all agree it's not original.
That's
Fine.
not original.
Good.
No,
Now, Vicky.
no, a little order, I want to, please. What is the original building? What is the architect's rendering? What did the architect crossing cross do? That's where we're starting.
Can I answer?
So you said, I'm speaking
Sure.
just from
Okay, I
mine.
was gonna answer your
You
question.
said that that image is what is there now, currently.
Correct.
We are not interested in that. We would like to know historically, how can this building not have this documented?
I
There are
have,
no books and crossing.
I have a ton of books on it. For some weird reason, this is not there. And we talked to landmarks about that.
Mhm.
There's one like side partial view of what was above, and that's really it.
I mean, I can understand
It's
not
really-
having
and
street photographs of such a narrow street, however, even if there was, I mean, you know, we go and look at Emery Roth's library, and it says, oh, they made the stair out of steel and whatever, this isn't, we're not talking about Egyptian times, it's written in English, what this thing was.
What I have, this is the level of what I have.
Yeah,
Top
cool,
left.
I got it, Yeah,
Right.
that's obviously a modern day.
No,
drawing.
top left is, that's the original drawing.
Oh.
That's what he's showing.
That's what we found. I'm telling you, there's not a lot for that. They were much more interested in the other entries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, look, maybe we
What
we
street
spent
is, what's?
a while
This is-
searching. I didn't.
Right, but what
That
facade is this, is it just changed?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, these entrances have you ever seen, they have owls, they have these craziest
Yeah,
things,
yeah.
it's like a labyrinth, but, okay, so Bruce has been waiting a long time.
I'm very familiar with this building. I had a back apartment there. It is almost impossible to describe. It is, like he said, an irregular, very irregular lot. There, one facade is disturbed by the back of the, our Cipriani Haven place. There's been scaffolding on it, on and off since it was renovated. The developers did a pretty bad job for many years trying to get the building in order. The elevators wouldn't work and doors wouldn't work. But to answer Vicky's question, the material is almost indescribable, and it uses every Art Deco material. It uses nickel, it uses brass, it uses stone. There's ornamentation everywhere. It's so hard to grasp, especially because it's on a tiny little narrow street. It's so hard to grasp the entity as a whole, but every single element that we're talking about is very elaborated, using incredible Art Deco materials.
Right,
That's what I would say.
design the details.
And as he is saying, I haven't been there in years, but the revolving door was always a problem. Landmarks would not let them replace it, nor would I. It's a beautiful revolving door and it doesn't work well, and it can't work well. So that's a conundrum. That's my little spiel to be,
But Landmarks is okay with us replacing the revolving doors.
but not originally.
So wait a second,
So
so
this is not the original
The
door.
original, not originally when it went before Landmarks years ago.
the original single door you're talking about?
But the revolving door.
The single revolving door that we're seeing up here on the left. So that was there years ago, but now there's two revolving doors and you're saying Landmarks would not.
At the time, years ago, 15 years ago,
It was about that, yeah.
there was a big issue with
It's a
Landmarks.
different developer, by the way.
Oh, then ownership now.
Yes.
Okay,
Very, very
Okay.
different.
I see.
So, I mean,
Right.
Bruce, so this door, right, when the time came and they wanted that replaced.
15 years ago.
Yes,
Yeah.
Landmarks was hesitant.
Yes.
So my question is, what did that door look like and why does this one or the new one have to look thin, a la airport? Because we know why, because, your owner has to accommodate 14,000 people going in and out.
There's a lot of people.
Yes,
A lot of
I know, you should have bought something in Pennsylvania.
Okay, so you gave us you gave us something, right? Put back up what you proposed,
Right, this is section
you
one.
got shot at it.
This is like,
This is just section one.
Relax.
well, where to go?
Okay, this was the proposal. Let me,
Can we see the rendering though? We haven't, the rendering is not, no, the rendering.
which one?
This one.
Oh, yeah, that's another rent.
This is from the inside. No, this is
Is
the
that
outside. No,
It's
this
a
is the
different
outside.
alternate
Right.
earlier.
Is that it, in the middle?
Yeah,
Boy,
it's,
I would just say if you're bothering to do, like,
This is from the.
shop used to come in here when community boards, in working in store districts, like, everyone was sick of looking at aluminum extrusion shapes like this, and they were like, well, our shapes are gonna be special and they were, but you know what? It's about the shape in this thing. So if you come here and show us a rendering of a rectangle, I'm gonna tell you, you're putting back 1950s or 80s cover up of historic, beautiful deco stuff that they covered up with it by clamping a bent metal thing. So, like, I feel like your rendering even makes it look sexier than it's really gonna be, because if it's just in a loop, just this extruded rectangle,
Wait, what do you mean by the extruded rectangle?
your extrusion.
Which
that's-
one?
that- for the-
Middle.
The corners?
Yeah, I mean, this.
Right,
Yeah.
there it is.
I mean,
any-
No, he's talking about the profile of, Jason's talking about the
things,
profile.
Any of these things, even by the way, your choice to do a radius here, it's almost the complete contradiction to the style of the building, which is like this super like very focused up deco thing where you're not gonna see a lot of curves. So I question your use of the curve. I mean, it's like almost six.
There is one.
We're getting there, don't worry.
Yeah, but come on.
That's the corner with the big metal door that is not used.
I think.
Yeah, but this is not a curvy building.
Right.
This is
I
a
think-
very, very, like a diamond. It's almost a faceted building. It's very directionally up with the heads looking down at you. Anyway, that's enough for me.
If you don't mind, just.
I'm done.
You live there, we all live in the community, we all love it. Those whose job this is, being architecture, we obviously have great, interest in this. If you just bear with us, this is now becoming the front door, so obviously it's an incredibly important, event to discuss, so, excuse us while we sort all this out. But anyway, is it okay if we just continue? with the
Yeah.
presentation?
Oh, I thought we were done. There's other areas? Okay.
Well, wait, I would like to say something about the door.
Yeah,
And
let's.
this
We'll get back to it, don't you worry.
No, let me say this now. This has come up in another project. I don't recall which one it is, but I know from a landmark standpoint, we often talk about various aesthetics. However, there's also an issue of function, and I'm very supportive of the historic function of a revolving door. We have there's one in my building, the doormen sit there and people use the side doors all the time. They have to put up signs saying, please use the revolving door. The whole purpose of the revolving door is to create an airlock. And
Right, to
this,
mitigate heat.
and this
heat
double,
loss and gain.
this double sliding door, which is gonna be open and close, open and close, open and close. The ones behind are gonna be open and close, open and close. They're gonna be open and close at the same time. There's never an actual airlock. Even though it is considered architecturally an airlock, it technically is not an airlock, and you have to introduce a lot of extra mechanical heating and cooling within that space. So from an energy standpoint, I actually promote the historic revolving doors.
Yeah, except the two that are there don't work.
Okay,
They don't work, they don't revolve?
They revolve, but they don't keep the air out there. There's a huge stack effect.
So talk to me about a stack effect that you
We
mentioned.
still have to put in the energy that you're worried about.
So stack effect. Explain to everybody, please, what a stack effect is, because I heard earlier that you
So-
mentioned about the issue of acoustics. So now we're talking about energy.
It's all
Well-
tied together.
Right.
I don't think we care about energy tonight, unless we lose the energy of hearing more about this gentleman's project and the work he's doing. The energy loss, we could talk about it for hours. I just want to hear about how beautiful it's gonna look and if it's gonna look more beautiful. I'm sorry.
I
I'm the chair.
disagree. I think it's
Okay,
a building,
you wait to be the chair.
it's a
and then
building code issue.
You can change the
Wait.
subject. I want to talk about how beautiful this is.
Jason, I'm a committee member.
Yes, I want to talk about, I want to get through the beauty of this or not. No, let's keep him
I
going.
want a nice result, right?
Yes. Let's keep him going. I don't want to get
It,
sidetracked.
it's an architectural issue because it's in the building codes. And New York City has specific energy efficient.
On the landmarks law code.
Right now, remember we discussed earlier that our purview is, in the historical,
Historic function is part of historic landmarks.
Okay, listen,
That's all I'm gonna say.
I'm just gonna interfere. Let's not have an argument and let's move forward.
Yes, it's okay. Anyway, I respect what Jared's, I want to keep it going with the look
we got.
and understanding what we're being presented with spatially.
I also want to.
This is very clear, by the
If
way.
I can, thank you. If I can point out just two things and I will move on. This is set back deep into the building. I mean, you don't actually, most of you won't see this from the street. I'm not saying I'm not trying to make it look ugly because of that. I'm trying to make it look nice. We're trying to make it look minimal and quiet. I don't know that we have the means to replicate the detail that's there, right? I don't know that we can do that.
What is this? Original, right? Original.
That's original.
Okay.
The louvers on the left are not, right? I think there were two
They
sets
don't
of doors.
look good in real
Nobody
life.
knows where they are, which is a real, maybe they're in the basement.
Question, just, How do the handicap strollers get up there?
There is,
That's important.
That's a great question.
And that has
No,
always
there-
been the
there
issue
is-
in that building.
There is,
Not in our
the original developer put in a one-story lift to
Yeah.
the right of this door. They have to address that because currently you have to ring a button and somebody has to come. It doesn't really work. So the current owners are upgrading that so that somebody can use it themselves without having to wait for someone to come in, right? So there is a way. It's not ideal. It's an old building, but everything here is lifted up. right?
That'll get put on the exterior?
It's there already.
It's there already.
There's a door with a little one-story lift, and that's how you get in. They're making improvements to that because it's not great. So that's
this
not
is-
in this scope. though.
This is the door portal scope, and it's talking about filling in everything basically within that masonry opening, you would refresh.
Yes,
Great.
okay, but that's section 4. I'm gonna get to that. Okay, last part of this was we would like to add 2 planters, just sit them, not attach them. We would like to clad the face and side of these planters with granite that we found to match the base of the building. That's it.
We would like to support that right away.
Okay.
Are we okay with that? I know
The
there's
planters?
rodent issues and horticultural things you might want to investigate. Right,
That's section 1. Section 2, section 2. I
Planters
think-
are removable, we're good with planters, obviously.
Just checking.
Love planters.
Good. okay.
Yes.
Section two, way simple. There are 2, this is very easy. Some of these are hard, some of these are not so.
Yeah.
Section 2 flagpoles. We want to put in 2 flags.
Yes.
Okay.
Can one of them be an American flag?
No.
Then we don't want it.
All right.
Are you serious? You can't put an American flag on this beautiful building?
Want to put
Aren't
a
you
20
proud to
change
be an
place
American?
flag. I'll-
So put one in the American flag.
Wait, come on.
Am I joking, Bruce? Are you
I
proud?
thought you were joking.
I mean, as I say it out loud, I don't think it's like the
Is
worst.
that a
thing.
landmarks
If
issue?
people still put flags up
Flag
about our
is
beautiful
every
country.
but
we
yes.
Okay, yes, yes.
2 flags,
You
moving
enjoyed
on.
this?
All right, that's section 2. Easy.
20 Exchange Place, oh my God, tell us 100,000 times what the address is. We need that.
This is 20 exchange. Section 3. Remember that slide where it's really dark and depressing?
Okay.
Okay, this is, I just want to say, this is not that crazy building on Broadway, right, with the light show?
Oh, yeah.
We are trying to do
Subtle.
subtle, we're trying to do different layers of lighting, so you've got the little windows at the bottom, we're trying to create footpath lighting. And then, to your point earlier, we're trying to raise your eye windows, have a wash that goes up. Obviously, there's already lighting in the semicircular opening, we want to upgrade that a little bit. We want to add 2 tiny lights to light our now wonderfully approved planters. That's pretty minimal. And light the flags. So we have 2 small, I have a bunch of details. I don't want to bore you. but,
Which one of these are new lights? That's what I need to know.
Everything shiny here is new. So I'm going to show you hopefully briefly. We have all the technical drawings. We're done mock-ups. Landmarks was mostly okay with this. I think they had a couple of
Is
questions.
the building gonna be washed in blue?
No, just a super quiet
Yeah,
wash of light.
safe.
These are,
Safe light.
if you squint, I can't see them, but the dimensions of these are, so I'm gonna start with the big windows. These are the big windows. We're gonna set the fixture back. If you look at the second image, on the right is the metal screen. Set all the way back is the light fixture. It washes up. We did a test. It actually looks pretty good. I'm happy with it. We're gonna do further tests for landmarks. They're gonna come look at it. We'll evaluate together. That's one detail. On the mid-size window, same thing. We're gonna set you're not gonna see the fixture. It's set back. It washes up. Same idea. Relatively small fixture.
Washing upward.
This is your
Washing up.
typical,
To lift you up.
I mean, I feel like I've even used this fixture, so it's just gonna be attached and reversible. I've used the exact fixture.
Okay.
Okay, so we're good with that.
Then it gets a little more complicated. So the lower ones, we thought, well, we're gonna put the light behind the grill and we'll hide it. That's easy. Now it looks terrible. You're lighting up this weird cavity. It's not pretty. I don't wanna look in there. So we thought we're gonna set it back from the face, put it right up against the grill. It is, I wanna say, a 1/2 inch by 3/4 fixture. It's this tall. It's pretty small. We're gonna paint the fascia of it to match the grill. Hopefully you don't see too much. Landmarks was so far so good.
So like that grill was nickel, but it's just so tarnished, is that what we're
Nickel
talking?
silver, that's section 4.
Nickel silver, so it's actually
Nickel
silver.
Nickel silver. I looked it up again
The
today.
building is from,
This
No, I
building is remarkable.
It'd be cool to be able to make something in the container, I guess is what I'm getting at, but anyway, okay, go, yeah.
Um, Then again, this one's tricky. So these are the windows, there's 3 of these. These are the beautiful stone carvings. Again, we thought, oh, well, light from behind, it looks horrible.
horrible inside.
We would like to wash the face. It projects a 1/4 of an inch. We'd like to hide it. We'll see what landmark says. Yeah, I know, we're looking.
So wait, so how is this connected? This is like basically like penny nail shot into the masonry?
Yes,
And the whole fixture itself is akin to like an under cabinet lighting fixture almost? in
yes,
its like
3/4
dimensionality?
3/4 by 1/2 inch.
Is there's no.
All reversible, we could go and fill it if we decide light, we don't need light anymore, we can just fill up the holes.
How does the electricity run?
We actually figured that out. There's actually a, you call it, there's not a gangplank, there's a, sorry. This is Christopher, by the way. I'm sorry, I should have
Poor
introduced him.
Christopher. What is it
He
called?
does all the work.
Greenfield.
There's a,
Raceway.
thank you. There's a way to walk to connect all this. So we actually connected this during the mock-up through the back. So we're not drilling through big chunks of
For
stone.
something like this, there's no way to eliminate the entire void?
It looks terrible.
No,
That's what I.
why would you want to, like, it's a void, right?
Yeah.
So I was just going to ask,
So I mean, almost as if that was the screen on a wall. They can't do it outwardly.
I wish we could, it would be so much easier. It's really ugly. We tried for both of the cavities. They're so deep and they're really dirty. Even if you clean them, just gonna get dirty again.
Yeah.
And you can't angle it towards, it just shines.
so why are you illuminating this spot?
Just
It's
to
not meant
be,
to be,
I will. Here you go.
it's an area way, so,
It's the 3, because, for consistency, and it's unfortunately for me, you got 1 here, okay, if I didn't do that one, I would live, it's really, the traffic's coming this way, but I got 2 here, this is really the main foot traffic area.
There are no street lamps on this block
so
anywhere.
that's my
There's street
next.
lamps, but they'll
go off a lot like.
they're awful. So
I'm curious.
I think it's fine. I live there. I see it. I walk.
I agree. Mitchell.
I think it's fine.
Hold
I
on,
think it's
Vicky, what else do you want to say about
Good
it?
thing I live around there.
I wanted to ask, so the purpose of you, lighting these corners that are not necessarily meant to be lit with these voids, if you don't, I swear to you, I can't say it. Like $7. If these voids are not meant to be, they're, let's say, air vents. So why are we still using air vents? Because you need light.
I want some light on the sidewalk, it's gray.
Yeah.
I want some. Yeah.
Adjectives and landmarks will like it. We don't care. Landmarks doesn't live here. We do.
Yeah.
So, we understand that light is desperately needed. Right? So what are the other options, including contacting the city, and saying, we need more lighting? Oh, it works, trust me. The squeaky wheel can get lots done. An owner of this building can definitely get, so I'm asking you, what are the other ways that you explored to give you lighting without lighting shafts?
So I don't think, they're not gonna give us another street light, because there's one far off on the corner that doesn't really hit this, and there's one on the other corner, there's no way they're gonna put one in the middle, so that's not.
Why not?
They won't.
They're not.
The district,
I don't
the whole
think it's too many.
sidewalk is all narrow there. Cars stop,
It's
cars
too
stop.
many?
It's
They
too,
already have
it's too narrow. Cars stop, they go on the sidewalk,
It's the bigger
unload. I know it, and I know it from all of our other things that happen. They're not gonna do it. The real issue is it's so dark and those street lights, and then you must remember that the people who live there and have the street lights shining in their
Right.
It's hard.
apartments are enraged all the time.
That's
So,
the second thing I was-
I live, it's not as if I'm in the air. I'm old, but I'm not in the air. Anyway, it needs lighting, and that's how it's gotta happen. I don't see it any other way.
I mean, we looked at options that you wouldn't like.
Yeah,
You get, like downlights attached to the side, there's no way that's gonna fly.
No,
I would have to have something that hits the sidewalk from above.
it's ugly.
All right,
this is the best, we're working with a serious lighting designer. I do a lot of the lighting design.
More light there is not bad.
Yeah.
I don't have a lot, I don't have a lot
And we
of
can give our whole,
There's not so few things you can attach to it. That was my worst detail.
This is why we're discussing this. Not that we have any, it's not in our purview to come up with a design for you, but, you know, this is not anyone's first time, you know, at this rodeo, right?
Yep.
Streets have been lit, sidewalks have been lit. You're working on an exceptional building, right? So Empire State Building, I mean, what, it's in darkness and it has voids that are, you know, filled with light, like, you know, there are precedents
Yeah, we
for
looked at,
this, and you said that you reviewed them, you've studied, and this is the best you can.
we looked at the Met. The Met has exposed cans in the arches.
That's right.
I'm shocked. I was shocked at the stuff we found. This is way better than that.
Yeah.
I was stunned at the stuff we saw.
All right.
It's,
So this door, excuse me, I didn't
I
mean
have
to
one
interrupt.
last detail.
Go ahead, please. This one here?
Wait
This
for
one here.
it.
Yeah,
This
all
is the
right,
last
this
one.
one. All right, very good.
So this one, we did a bunch of different things and, okay, so there's a history to this. This is the William Exchange corner. So this is a major corner.
Big time.
It's a big corner. Hear me out. We're proposing lighting with additive piece here. This was, there was a detail that was removed. Right now, it's just kind of an ugly plate. It's not great.
That's
And
right.
it's on the Cromwell side, and unfortunately, we got in trouble. They saw the sign and they were like, that's not legal. No, that's another problem. What we would like to do is have lighting down, lighting up, and really kind of wash this thing. I think this was meant to be lit. We can't do it from inside.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What are those two signs on either side? Is that out?
Yeah, I like the
They're
light,
out.
especially in those air vents. Like, you walk by those things. you
Okay,
see-
that's,
All right, that's section 3.
So this photo reference in the right,
That's the door.
let's talk about the door again. What is the material of the door?
That is,
That's the original.
I believe, nickel silver.
That's the nickel silver.
It's beautiful
It's stunning.
and it's intricate. It's fabulous.
And you're saying that can't be replicated even with a paint finish of some sort on a.
They-
Well,
on
you're
a-
not doing anything here. This is just lighting.
Maybe.
Vicky, I'm talking about the other door.
Oh, we're back to the other door.
Of course.
Materials, though, you see all different colored metals painted, you'll see restoration company, well, aluminum doors that are painted all different colors. And you'll see buildings that take care of the buildings, they'll have people come in and repaint it, every couple of years. But if you can do,
I don't disagree with you. We actually, before we got on board, it's amazing. They actually started to refinish this section in different finishes. I was like, you gotta stop doing that. You can't do that. But there were different finishes. I don't disagree with you. I think we're trying to do, again, I've had this business for 26 years. We've done a lot of art projects. We're trying to do something that intentionally looks a little bit different here. Because it's never gonna matter. I don't want to take,
Absolutely, I agree.
that's why we're proposing the entrance that we're proposing. It's a very
That we're going back.
conscious effort on that.
Yeah.
And trying to keep it minimal so that it is distinct. There's no way we can replicate this here.
No.
I mean, we could, it would be $5 million. I don't know. I don't even know what it would be, but that's the hard part. And I want to be in contradistinction to the building.
Right.
That,
Back to this. So this elevation belongs to that door.
yes, but this we would match
This
the metal to
lighting
your point.
is just about, this sheet is just about lighting that existing door. The ugly advertisement signs state that you've got nothing to do with them. So
That-
why are you lighting someone else's?
Yeah, well, it'll diminish it, I think, but, I think it'll.
Does he own it or not?
It
That's the question.
was that is
It's a
that is
deal with
that is a
Cornwall.
Deal issue that I am not smart enough to talk
Just
about.
who owned what? Vicky?
It's a deal between the new owner
Ah.
and Cornwell
I got it.
on the whole
Okay.
thing that they've
I
done.
see. Old owner.
Of the old owner.
Yeah, I did, and I think there's a good.
Back one.
One? No, wait.
The
Where do you
other
wanna go? You wanna go to the detail?
Yes, the lighting, that you just,
Ah,
this, Bruce.
Right.
Get rid of- what is
Ah.
that?
Okay.
I think,
That belonged to it. Can we get rid of that?
I
Because
thought-
it's lighting, that whole area right?
Yeah.
With this proposal, but saying that this doesn't belong to the same owner.
I believe Landmarks already picked up on that.
Well, can't we mention it?
They
think
picked
they
up-
already know.
Sure, we can make.
You know, Landmarks' office was 2 blocks away from here. They know this.
Yeah, but I don't trust them.
Landmarks.
I would like parking.
In this,
It's just their job.
they moved out of this building, Landmarks?
No, they were at old, the police station.
No, now they're here. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Anyway,
Okay,
they
so
were-
let's go on. We don't, those.
Okay,
Please.
so
please.
I got, well, one last lighting, lighting the flag. This is setback way up.
How many flag poles are
Two.
getting,
We have 2 flagpoles. They're existing,
and how many flags is each flagpole have?
1,
So just 2 flags.
2 total flags.
Cool.
And these are
Do
codes.
they have to be at that angle? You can't just put a flag?
No, they,
You have to ask
It's not
them
a
to put an
flag.
accessory flag.
that's a banner. You're right. It's a, what is it?
No, it's a flag.
It's a banner, technically.
It's a banner.
It's a banner.
It's
a
It's
banner.
a banner. Do you see? It's not a flag. It's not a free-flowing
It is-
flag.
it
It's
is
a
a
banner.
banner.
Let's go to the next section. Let's,
All right,
I demand.
Ah.
Oh, yeah, the planner lighting.
We did this. We gave you.
Maybe not
Please
minus or fine.
Don't go, don't press.
Last, actually, this is kind of a non-section. We're just gonna restore everything below the little row of square windows.
We don't need to weigh in on you're doing that all as per staff level thing. Okay, let's go.
That's it.
All right, let's go. What was the most contentious part? The entry
Thank-
area?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
That's nice. Exclamation point.
Yes.
Where do you wanna go?
I want wherever the committee wants to go.
Things, what is that? What is
Stair.
Rail, right?
So that's just
Stairs and
indicating
the
the area that we're restoring. It's that big.
Grass? What kind of railings?
So
there?
we're not
No,
gonna
these
take it.
I'm asking you about the red, these lines, this right here.
Those are
That's
the-
handrails.
Yeah, I think it just says 4A granite facade cleaning, 4B decorative metal cleaning. There's a description.
Okay.
Staff is.
I'm asking you about the handrails.
The handrails are there.
They're
Yeah.
existing.
Oh, yeah, we're not adding handrails, yeah. Yeah, sorry, I didn't get that. All right,
I got A for A and B, yeah.
okay, got it. Yeah,
Well, that's interesting because the center handrail doesn't exactly work with the new door configuration in a sense. I mean,
I think it does. Well, I mean, you got 12 people. Get that.
Wide, huh?
Yeah. So,
Okay.
I mean, I have no problem with in terms of the expression of the lights, even though it's very different from what was there. I kind of like it to some degree in terms of, expressing the circle and all that. I mean, I don't know, it's like, you almost want
Question
the,
is, why didn't you take more inspiration from these things?
well, there is that question.
There's an argument,
What's
to
the
that.
airport look for?
The argument is to make it different, to
The
make
argument
it
is to make it different.
stand off from the historic,
Create,
Why?
look, so first of all, if I put, we thought really hard about this, I didn't get into it. If we put that back, you're just cutting so much more light. It's already starved and it's already super
Don't worry
dark.
about the light, we have light fixtures on the inside.
Not a lot, and I can't really touch the inside that much, right? So we've got some codes that wash up on the barrel, and we've got one pendant. It's pretty
I'm
grim.
just saying that
Any light-
geometrically, when you're designing, there's a difference between, this end and then you're being on this end. Putting a few more mullions to, make it more harmonious and fit in with the entire historical context. There's a degree between being on this side and on that side.
it's very difficult because it is much more streamlined than what the building is.
Well, that specific
I
part.
mean, it's a little jarring.
Well, I
and I
don't
would
find
agree-
it so jarring, but I think if you aufgetackle it, which means all tarted up in German, it'll be too much.
And that's what I'm saying,
And
Susan.
it's also that-
There's a difference between
Never-
going from extreme to extreme, and this is not, this is
For
in
you,
the middle.
I understand.
I'm gonna make a comment and then it could be the final one, because we'll figure out how we're gonna write this. A building like this, which I put as high as any of the great buildings that Bruce either lived in once or knows or described, deserves to be studied in a way like my boss would study for years to find out just the right detail to fill this thing in. And I know there's a bunch of moms and dads in that building who are gonna bitch and moan for 2 years. There's no rush. It should be done like you've just uncovered a building designed by the most important person in the world. It's a major entrance to it. it feels bland to me.
Well, okay, I can live with that.
Okay, but by the way, I'm willing to write a positive resolution and vote against it if the room feels okay with it.
No, we can go with it, right?
Well, Jared has to say something, Bruce.
Yeah.
The
But
argument though,
I
about,
understand what he's saying.
the argument that it's gonna bring in more light, it's not bringing in any more light than what's there currently, right? What's there
I think
currently.
it's lighting it's like almost like if you could put light in and surround the entrance to the building inside and out, that's what they need light and safety and it
What I'm,
needs,
what I'm
needs to
getting
be open.
about is the argument that you can't put something in place that is more akin to what the other entrances are.
Couple more
It's.
horizontal and vertical.
We're all in
It's an
agreement.
entirely narrow street with a tall building across from it. It's gonna be de minimis light.
Okay,
But.
From
also
the
have
glass
perimeter.
panel, yeah.
It's not
Yeah,
just
yeah.
the natural.
Well, I think we're saying you
The
can
light,
find
the
something.
arch is lit.
A little.
Trying to get-
I think the light, I think the actual lighting, it's great.
yeah, light
Trying
up.
to get the
I do.
artificial
Lighting,
light
planners,
into
and-
the building.
No,
I would like to.
Is it a huge
Bruce.
difference?
Um,
It's a difference, but it also feels, to me, maybe it's a subjective look, it's subjective. To me, that feels a little prison-like, and it does feel like a bank. It is no longer a bank. It is a place to live. I don't wanna be, if it was me, I don't wanna live.
This-
It's a landmark
Do it-
historically.
But it is a landmark, and we're trying to balance those things, and I don't
And is this
totally
is not the
disagree. We could
residential
add more things.
entrance,
Yeah,
correct?
yeah.
It is.
It
It
is.
is the.
It is the entrance.
So,
Actually, I don't mind it being different
So-
than the other entrances now.
Bruce,
are you leaving?
no,
Oh.
yeah,
Well,
I am about to leave. Go ahead.
Yeah.
You can vote like you always vote.
So interestingly enough, about,
Well,
Okay, Bruce.
It's a fun community board.
interestingly,
only landmarks.
Only landmark, it's just us.
when you're done, I will comment, because it just
Go.
keeps rolling. In this building, the massing is magnificent, and you can see the original pictures. The detailing is absolutely, riotous. I mean, and in a good way, there's no coherence to the millions of deco references everywhere, and the coins, and the arches, and the metal, and the stone. It's very hard at ground level, also with the streets, to get a sense of this building. From a distance, looking up, it's incredible. It never should have been converted into residential. It doesn't really work as residential. There was no other use for it. So it's been a chronic problem. I'm concerned about all of these, many of these interventions to make it work as a residential building, which it never really has. Some of them are required. One little thing I want to ask, you're replacing what I can tell, having worked on a cross and cross building at 90 Franklin Street. You're replacing an original cross and cross design chandelier, I see, correct?
No,
Well, I see that you're replacing.
no,
Okay.
no, those are, no, we're not touching that.
Okay, I see.
Relamping, I mean, just because it's old,
What do you mean relamping?
I mean, just.
Oh, you're repairing.
Okay. No, we're not replacing.
So it's really hard to approve or disapprove each and every one of these disparate elements. All I can say is like the original street architecture as a whole, these interventions don't cohere to me. But that could be because it's just so hard to perceive what the street elevation is in its entirety. So I don't know, I don't like the new entrance at all, and yet I feel that, it does need a major solution. And entering that building is crazy right now.
Okay.
I mean, it's an improvement on what's there. It's just a shame to not return it to its former glory, if you will.
Yeah, I agree. I think we all agree on that.
Yes.
Between, being a primary reading, right, which is the overall building, and then tertiary readings, which might be all the window, treatments on the base. There can be, and you have to come up with a primary, secondary, tertiary, where you introduce, you bring it a little closer, and you have to judge what that is when it gets a little closer to expressing and appreciating and respecting the historical nature of Lower Manhattan. I don't need to tell you this, you live there, you're an architect, but you know what I mean. This is what we as a community and your other fellow architect was saying that other, on behalf of the community, having a secondary reading, where, you introduce a few more elements so that altogether it's coherent, rather than, rather than making the door so open that it actually challenges the primary reading of the base, right? It's so big. And I was just gonna look, what is that building where, Ramza did, Bob Stern over on, 61st and Park? And
Yep.
the door looks like a brick shit house, right? It looks like you're going into the Federal Reserve. But because this is rental, it's much more democratic, right? So like invite everyone, open the door, come and go. Whereas over on Park Avenue, it's not so. So that argument, I think is not the way to go. I think that the way for you to resolve this truly is to stick to the architecture and see what is most harmonious. At what point the amount of verticals and horizontals, I won't be this big, obviously, the profiles work harmoniously with the base and the architecture. And you just say, I'm not getting involved in anything else, how many people are going through, how liberal, how democratic it is versus the ultra rich who like to have a fence. And that might be the.
But Ching, and bravo for listening to all of us. We are gonna
You did a
close
nice
this out.
job.
Yeah, very nice. You're very resilient.
Yes.
Is there a middle ground on this, meaning?
I just presented them.
Yes.
That's what I was describing.
No, in all seriousness, I don't mind the sliding doors. It's the upper part, which just seems
That's
like.
the thing here.
Down the opposite.
I went 21 miles.
We're all,
But
So
the sliding door thing, there's certain practicality, like I understand. It's
One
things
or
like
the
a
other.
high school.
You're gonna live to 110.
I think so, but I think that one of the points I'm taking is to use the profile instead of your original point, which is, yeah, we got it, yeah, I'm looking at it, it's kind of a dumb profile. I think we could do better with the profile that's there, that's just.
Okay.
So we have extra shadows. Maybe some extra shadows that get created by these
think so.
profiles, they start to sing, it's a little like this stuff on my whole outfit, right? To add a little bit more, and like I said, to get around the whole ownership and everything else, you say, I don't want to deal with any of that. This is a building that warrants me only responding to the architecture and finding the happy answer.
So, can we call the question
Yes,
based
call the
on
question.
whether all the changes we've mostly agreed upon?
Yeah.
On one, the big issue are the front doors.
Mhm.
And so let's just have a recap of what you're gonna put in the resolution.
We think,
May I just,
Yep,
will you,
yep.
will you entertain the idea of redesigning and coming back and showing it to us?
I like the idea of changing at least the profile and potentially adding some
Yeah.
pieces.
That's
I
great.
think that's not a
Then
bad
you
idea.
would really make us happy.
And we
if you
will not-
forward it to us, then we will say, then the resolution can state that we had issues, but
they didn't.
the architect,
Yeah.
has agreed to review and return.
You
Yeah.
want,
Yep,
okay?
yeah, we want to get this all approved.
I want to get one sentence. Sometimes we do that because we don't want to write a negative resolution, but there's an implicit sense that it won't be approved the second time either, and I think we're disposed to.
To approve it.
We're close.
I understand, I
Right.
understand.
I still would like to understand what the stack effect issue is with the door.
Okay, you have time tonight and you and
Uh,
Harold could go after?
kind of, I mean, it's.
Really have to go, but we have to go to the next item,
Yeah,
unfortunately.
yeah, or he can write here.
Project.
Oh, no, you're kidding me.
Sorry.
112, 114.
Good, good.
And-
Oh, yeah, so we know that one.
Okay,
Okay,
let's go.
yeah,
That's it.
Thank you. We're gonna vote, yeah, you should vote.
we're gonna vote on, we like what, am I writing a resolution?
Yes.
That says we like everything
That's
except
lighting.
the initial, blandness
Design,
of the,
entrance.
or okay
And
about.
that the architect has agreed to come back, well, for.
Make revisions to that.
And present to us, okay?
Great, sounds good.
You
Thank
come
you.
back
So
next
it's a
month.
motion to come back is what it is.
Just to look at the storefront and then it's
Just
gonna.
to
be
look
great.
at
Why
what-
are we voting? Why do we have to vote? He just has to come back.
Well, because we're here, we're doing business. I guess we do. I'll write a very short resolution.
Yeah,
We'll use
I
it for
think
the
we
next
should
time.
go on,
You'll use it
I
for the
want
next
them
time.
to have something
No,
to
but
go,
where was my-
to show that we didn't reject it. That's always the
Well,
positive way.
but-
We're not rejecting it.
So is this a formal vote?
Yes.
Technically.
Formal vote.
Yes.
then I'm voting no.
Okay.
Well, didn't I say you were gonna vote no?
You did.
You did that.
Yes.
So
You
we
can
came back.
recuse yourself if you wanna do something
Right.
strange.
All in favor?
Yes.
Yes. We did good.
Okay.
All right, thank you. I'll be back.
And one no.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Just good comments, good conversation.
Okay,
Thank you.
okay.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Vera.
Thank you for being a
Stick around.
great part. It is.
Yeah.
You just wait till you see the 5G tower from before. Then you really quit.
What's next?
Chambers.
You're lucky because
Okay.
they usually put them up your.
Take 5 minutes.
Instead of
Yeah,
actually your door.
we came back.
I'm back.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm there.
Susan lives near you.
Who's here for chamber?
Oh, be careful, be careful.
What are you eating, Jason?
Elbow.
Hungry. What are you eating?
I ate the rest of the chips I bought. Did you see the garbage?
Thank
Right?
you.
Yeah,
for all
good.
the garbage.
I didn't get
You had
it.
some discussion.
Okay, Chambers.
All
Okay.
right, thank you. Good
All right.
luck.
Be here.
Evening.
I'm just
Thank
gonna-
you.
Yeah,
You
thank
were
you.
all here for this one last time? Everybody, Bruce, you saw this?
Yes.
Okay, so
I have to read.
we asked,
No, so he's actually.
He's online. He was allowed to be online. the first
yeah,
time.
right. So thanks for coming back, guys. You
Bye.
can hear us on the chambers. And I'm just gonna start off by rebriefing. I think the consensus,
Hey, excellent.
the
What?
consensus was that we wanted to keep them two separate storefronts.
Not the separate building.
Right, by way of storefront area.
Or everything else, corners.
Yeah. Right. Okay, so why don't you tell us where you where you made the big changes?
Don't know if landmarks will approve it though. Start getting rid of.
No, I don't, I actually, I'm sorry.
Really should have landmark what was there.
So.
I know,
Yeah,
right?
right.
Why was the landmark?
Yeah.
Right.
So, tell us for the last.
No, it's just.
But you guys were saying that it should be,
You worried out last time.
you know, but these comments, so we,
Different buildings,
Whatever.
which they're gonna redo the whole thing, they put something on top,
So
that's
the
controversial.
floor
but
levels
they
are not
kind of-
equal.
That's
the
right.
first-
So it's
Last time
really
they
two
chose to
different,
like. make
even though
them
they're
kind
gonna
of
have one entrance.
Read as continuous buildings on the first floor. Yeah,
Maybe he'll show, can you?
Architect is online.
Yeah.
And please make sure he shows the previous.
oh, here,
How it's
I got it.
changed.
There was
Of
more
course.
and then face.
Okay, you can speak.
great, thank you guys, all right, bye Vera. Bye Vera.
Hi, Vera.
How many architects does it take?
Go ahead.
Why don't you make your,
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
put a picture on it? Let me see your face.
Yes, well, yeah, we do.
Yeah, Happy New Year.
What year were these buildings? That's a good question. Do you recall the year of these buildings? 1850 what?
1834 and 1857.
Damn good guess by me.
Go ahead.
Okay, we have the comment last time and mainly focus on the second floor of 114 Chamber and the storefront. The question whether we should identify as two building or one building. So we work very closely with the owner, and they feel very strongly that the building should maintain its own identity. And also, they do not think the 1940 text photo showing the second floor as a storefront is appropriate. So we are making the second floor for the 114 the same motif as the upper floors.
Can I stop you there? So right now, today, the second floor is not like that punched opening, is that right? It's more, it's different, it was altered, but altered maybe even 80 years ago, or on, right? Something like that?
Yeah, 1940, yeah, 80 years ago.
So that's a major difference between the first time you met with us, right?
Yeah, I don't have the control of the slide. Patrick, can you help to show what was the building before?
Oh, who's Pat? Oh, that's your guy. Okay, great. Yeah. Okay, no, that seems to be the new mock-up views.
Yeah, Patrick, can you turn to the page showing the existing storefront? It was on the original presentation.
Oh, Patrick, oh, I didn't know you were Patrick. Yeah. Oh,
Original presentation?
like last time, we're never gonna have, oh, it just opens.
We need, is that?
Oh, yes.
Looks much better.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not, since it looks so much better, I like this concept, I'm not so.
Where are you?
He cut himself on a piece of paper.
You live. I want the resolution of this, he's chaos.
There they are. Hello,
Lucy's on Shears.
okay.
Believe it, thank you.
And to help, if I could just suggest, a rendering from your first proposal and this one.
And then we can probably.
And that is, we can help explain if Susan has questions, because we rolled it over and I wrote the rest. And, everything behind it is getting completely demoed and it's going to be resi.
That's fine, I got it.
And there's a rooftop addition you can barely see, so nobody
I
cares.
remember that. I was online.
And you were, okay,
Yeah.
so that's all we care about now is a comparison. Alice is writing.
I mean, from a preservation standpoint, Vicky, you know, 1940 is significant. And we're doing away with what was done in 1940 now. I cannot support that.
Well, that's too bad, Jerry. I'm gonna have to kill you on our way out. I think that was, in order to, again, be in the harmony of the historical area. Jerry, that 1940 might have been fun when there were two separate buildings, but now that we're putting them as on the interior as a single building, it's a catastrophe to keep that window as it was before. Where are the elevations? Oh, I see, okay.
I think we should,
In order,
do we have the 1940, the 1940 historic photo as well? Because.
Yes.
but when it was two separate buildings, it worked like that.
Well, I think it still works as two separate buildings, because on the facade, it's still reading as two separate buildings. You have your windows on the right building that are higher than the windows on the left.
That was denied last time to the base that comes up like this, like we're not having.
Well, that was because it was all becoming one base.
No,
But if we had two
that was
separate-
retaining that second floor reading, and in reality, now there's gonna be a residential apartment, you're never gonna furnish that with those windows. And triple glazing to prevent, because it was reading more like a commercial space.
My understanding was the second floor was still gonna be commercial, but even so, from the ground standpoint, I mean, 1940s is still a significant improvement, and from a historic preservation standpoint,
No, now we have to unify to make it.
I disagree with that. I don't think we should take it back
So
to
then
the
you don't have that, oh, I mean, you have the right to.
Disagree.
No,
Right,
to
right.
disagree, but we did ask, there it is, right? We did ask them to reevaluate that. They did, and the reference.
I mean, look,
made-
if
Jerry.
you look at the 1940 building.
I saw this, I made
Yeah.
the resolution, I saw it. Jerry, that day, when the presentation took place, there were two projects that Landmarks reviewed that were directly applicable to this project. And both of those were approved as per the new, proposal tonight.
I'm not understanding. Landmarks reviewed what projects are applicable to this one?
Two projects.
Oh, unrelated projects.
And their input was to approve basically the direction that,
Removing a,
yeah, oh no, that's not 1940, it's not, Jerry.
What?
That-
what?
It's this.
Yes, that's 1940s. Look at the building on the right. Or the photo on the right.
Leftovers. This would be chaos to keep as is. Chaos.
I
We're not
don't
there.
agree. I think it was
Okay, then you
designed
can
that
vote
way.
no. Okay, can we, bottom line.
I mean,
is,
we don't have a photo of the original 1857, do we?
No, because you got your 1940s tax photo, and this is like
Right.
a significant historical period, but not the original historical. significant
Right,
period.
but from a preservation standpoint, as architects, we
Yeah.
are taught that significant alterations, you go to the significant alteration unless you're going to some sort of period that is specific to a
But I,
historic.
this is, but I think within the historic preservation, I'm not an architect. I was a developer, I did housing, I did buildings. I think the change and what they've done with the windows
Can we,
make it,
the two,
make it totally acceptable. Look at what
Oh.
they had,
Oh.
which was horrible, and
Come
look
on,
at what
Gerald.
they have now, Gerald. And
I'm not saying that this was not horrible, I'm saying that the new is equally as
I
bad.
just,
why, no, based on totally different.
Based off of
reasons.
preservation.
Oh, okay.
okay,
All right,
yeah,
well-
I don't like chaining my arms to, if, preventing eventual beauty just because.
and look at the
like
new.
it. Yeah.
Show us.
Oh, beauty's subjective, come on.
We,
I mean, we're not talking about beauty, we're not talking about aesthetics, we're
Oh, I
talking
know,
about
that's Bruce.
preservation,
My feeling,
preservation.
Let Bruce
my
talk.
feeling is procedural. Somehow we've broken down into this kind of, I mean, you are aggressive. You know, I think just, not the building, procedurally, we should each talk and not
Thank
hector
you.
each other.
Closer to the
And
around the
it
table.
keeps
Yes,
accelerating.
Right,
fine.
but we are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 now.
Here.
Gerald, you don't like it,
Yeah.
right?
The new? No.
Yes, correct. So we're gonna focus on, if anyone has anything that likes it,
the new,
the
the
new
tonight's
proposal, one
proposal.
more time, right? Because
Different deck?
I wanna try to like it. I think I do like it.
Yeah.
And
It's,
if I like it and you like it and 5 out of 6 like it, we're gonna close it up.
It's a relatively small building.
Right,
thank you.
It's been derelict for
Yeah,
decades.
right.
Something has to be done.
and I
Merging and massaging this small building to
Right.
death and making it useless like it's been
Right.
is not a good
And
solution.
I think, Gerald, to your point, you could make a historical proof
Oh.
for your case, but you could equally make the same proof for the other case,
Yes.
in this instance.
No, that's the old one. Remember,
Right.
now we have, well, yes,
That's the
basically.
new one.
No, this
That's
is the new one for tonight.
Well, I'm sorry, but how am I aggressive, but I can be interrupted by others? and-
No, we're not, we're
I'm
not.
sorry, I'm not.
Not you.
It's not
I'm not
aggressive,
saying.
it's just we all got very loud talky and instead of our normal, and I think
Yeah.
the sugar had something to do with it, but we're almost done. And Gerald,
birthday party, nobody
But-
can order chocolate.
I mean, I kind of kept quiet on the last go around when this came in, but there's two things, and one being the 1940s. 1940 is a very, very significant, alteration to this building, and the second thing is, actually, there's three. The second thing is that I would like to understand the reasoning behind doing a, brick, an unpainted brick facade when when both sides of the street and the rest of the block is painted. And then the third thing is the appropriateness of this rooftop addition, which I don't believe is appropriate. We're not seeing a standard,
You can
we're not,
see it.
excuse
It's
me,
not
Vicky,
visible.
we're not, we don't know that because we're not seeing the standard cross-section through the street with the sight lines.
We
We're
did
not
not
seeing these.
And it was in the resolution, and it was presented last
we're going back in
month.
the wrong direction. Gerald, there's a slide that Zach can put and it show you the visibility. I agree. I think I'm concerned about the visibility as presented. One of these show it and then we walk by and suddenly just don't understand. Bruce, take this because you know this area and you've seen it done and everybody wishes it's not visible and then you suddenly walk 2 years later and this thing. So
I mean, is there a mock-up that?
yes,
have we seen
there
a
is.
mock-up?
Please put the sides up. It's very important that we look at it one more time. That's really, so keep going. Keep going. Or, yeah, okay, yeah, more. Oh, right, you're on, oh, you're doing this, right, sorry, okay. You had, the mock-up, the view from the street, yeah. And then I think we can close it out. So, yeah, I do want, no, I want to see
The cross-section.
Okay, Gerald wants to see the cross, okay, but okay, so, Bruce, look at this look at view number 3, okay? Then look at the mock-up. And please, applicants, tell me, okay, so here we go. which view is the front wall of this?
Number 2,
Number 2, and that's set back how much from Chamber Street?
16 feet.
16 feet. Seems pretty normal. Most things are like a 15 to 20. You might get a little bit more visibility than it's presented. That's my experience. These buildings are as derelict. I'm down here since 2002.
It is
forever. It's forever.
It is blocked to a substantial
Yeah.
extent by the ugly new tower.
Right.
Next to it.
Right. Okay, so I just hope that it's not as visible as Gerald's worried. And if it's not, then we're good. If it is, then we tried to do our job. Okay,
Can I call the
I
question?
think so. I think so. Yep. Call the question. They came back, they changed it to make it look like it. Do that, not everybody, but most of us, and they came back and they delivered. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
All in,
All in favor? All opposed? Okay. Thanks, guys.
thank you.
Right.
Thank you.
I don't know. Neil, after the.